Welcome to Lesson 3 about the zero exponent. Let's explore. The first thing we're going to do is fill in all the repeated multiplication. You can pause here and fill it out with me. Welcome back. Let's talk about our standard form or our answers for each of these. So 2 with an exponent of 4 is 16. 2 with an exponent of 3 is 8. 2 squared is 4. And 2 with an exponent of 1 is 2. So let's look at the pattern here. What happens each time when we go down one exponent? Right, we divide by 2 each time. So now if our value is 2 here, and we divide by 2 to follow this pattern, we get 2 divided by 2, and that gives us a 1. And for our next step, we would divide by 2 again. So we take our standard value, divide by 2, and that gives us 1/2. Let's try another example. Again, I'll get you to pause here, fill in the repeated multiplication, and calculate the standard form. Welcome back. So just like we did in the first one, let's look for our pattern over here on this side when looking at our standard value or form. So we're going to divide by 4 each time. So when we get down to 4 exponent 1 and 4 exponent 0, we're going to divide again by 4, which will give us 4 over 4. And that'll give us a standard form of 1. And if we divide again by 4, we can get our exponent 4 with an exponent of -1, which gives us 1. And again, we're going to divide by 4, which will give us an answer of 1/4. Let's practice a few more to see if we can figure out what the pattern is. Let's just recap what we saw in our previous example. So 4 with an exponent of 1 as repeated multiplication is just 1/4, standard form of 4. And we said to get to our next exponents, our next values, we divide by 4, divide by 4. So we're going to take our 4, divide by 4, that's going to give us a 1. So with an exponent of 0, our answer is 1. And to get 4 with an exponent of -1, we're going to divide by 4 again, which gives us an answer of 1/4. For these examples, I'd like you to grab your calculator, try and fill these out, and let's see if we can get the same answer. I'll be back in a couple of seconds to go over them with you. So welcome back. So you should have done all 3 of those examples, and your answer should be the same as mine, where anything with an exponent of 0 is equal to 1. So that is the next law that we're learning about. Any base with an exponent of 0 equals 1. We'll be using that rule quite often. I want you to be able to recognize that anytime you see a 0 as an exponent, the entire answer equals 1. And last, we just have a few examples I want to go over so that you know how to incorporate those negative numbers. So 4 with an exponent of 0 will just give us 1. A negative 4 with an exponent of 0 will give us a negative 1. And the reason that one's negative is because the base isn't a negative like in our next example. So because of those brackets, we know that the entire base is a negative 4 with a 0, so that'll give us a positive 1 answer. In this example, because the brackets aren't around the negative 7 like this, then we know that the entire answer will end up being negative, very similar to this example over here. And again, this one, the negative is on the outside, so we have a negative 1. And here we know this part will end up being a positive 1, but there's still a negative out front, giving us a negative 1 for that one.